So this is a short tutorial of how to solve the mirror cube. And let me just scramble it up. I will just hand scramble it. Yeah, it's funny because all the finger tricks that you know, they feel so awkward because it deforms. But no matter, we will just make do anyway. And let's see if it's scrambled good enough. I assume that if you watch this, you know how to solve a normal 3x3, which means a cube like this. So, and you know the terms OLL and PLL. So, because I will be using the techniques of solving a 3x3 for solving this one. So first of all, you can see I have another one here, and the GAN is much easier to solve due to the rounded edges here. So they must face towards the center, so it's able to corner cut. This one does not have this. So you see these rounded edges mirror what these edges look like on a normal 3x3. But since they're not like so here, they can be rotated in different way, in any way you want. But also this one does not have anything showing what should be up or down. I prefer to solve a mirror cube by having the smallest side up. The reason I'm not using this one is because it turns horribly. So in order not to ruin my fingers and look like an idiot while showing how it's done, then I'm using the GAN. And it has a logo showing what goes on top. But if it didn't have that, we should just look for whatever we think protrudes the least, and it would be either this or this. It can be hard to see which one is protruding the least, but then you know that the opposite of the one protruding the least is the longest. So we look at these two centers, and there's no doubt that this one is protruding less than this one. This is a bit longer, so this must face down, and since this is the longest, this must be the shortest. And then we can solve it with the biggest tiles on bottom, because they're easiest to recognize, at least I think so. So having this one on the bottom, we just need to make, well, we can call it the white center. So we can solve white down. For those of you who are like me, who are not color neutral, that is quite a bliss. So this one fits in length from a center to the bottom. It fits in length, but it doesn't fit in depth. So we rotate it up, and since this one looks like it's the one with the most depth, it will not fit this one. It will fit the longest one, which is over here. And we just rotate it in place, and we verify that, yeah, now it aligns with both middle or both centers. So we do the same for the rest. We have a center here that is just a bit too short. So that's a yellow one if we call this white. So because or it could be, sorry, it doesn't need to be a yellow one. Actually, it's the one that goes between those two centers. We can't use that for anything now, so well, I can't. Maybe somebody else can. So I will look out for another one, and this one here fits the bill. And let's see if it matches the length, if it's being rotated down, and it did. So now we have two centers in place, or two edges in place, and we just have to finish that white cross that we are doing. So let's just see if this one fits when it's rotated down, and it did. So now it matches the depth here, and we have three in place. And we just need the last one, which is probably the one over here. And we rotate it in place, and the white cross is finished. So now we do the F2L, the first two layers, and the reason I go with F2L instead of a beginner method is that it's very hard to get these in place after you've done a corner, so it's easier to just take the edge down with it. The first I will look for is the biggest, that will be this one. If we see it on the white side here, it's easier to see that this one is bigger than all the others. So the one that is both the widest and the deepest will be the one that fits in here. And it looks to be this one. We can verify it by simply No, sorry, it's this one. And we can verify it by simply trying to put it into place. If we put it in a wrong rotation, it will look weird, yeah? So it might be that it's turned like this, but, well, that's where it differs, because this one would not matter which one was up or down, but since this one has this rounded area, let me just see if I can find it. There is a slight rounding here, a small dent, almost looks like a dent. And we know this is supposed to go inside here so it can corner cut. And that means it must be rotated like this. So now the dent is here and it's facing down correctly. But we didn't get the edge. So let's just release this one and find the biggest edge. And it could look like it's this one. So, and it was. So now we can pair them up and we can slot them to their place. And now we have one corner solved. So we just continue doing so. And for me, it's the easiest to eliminate all the biggest tiles. So the next one will be this one. Nope. Incorrect spot, sorry. So it fits over here. And we need to find the correct edge to match it with. And let's just see. It's probably the one that it's clinging to here. So, oh. And now they're paired up. So there's a bit of a trial and error if you're not really sure of the shapes and what is the longest and what is the shortest. At some point, I hope it becomes intuition. So this one did not go too well here. It's probably fit here. And we just need to find the edge that it pairs to. It could actually be this one over here. Yeah, it was. So this is too tall, so it's not the correct pair, but hey, they actually are paired. So to bring it down correctly would be this way. No, it wouldn't. Let's see. It needs to be rotated. So if we do like this, then we can just do like, oh, that's why it didn't fit. It's the wrong one. Yep, as I said, there will be a little trial and error. So now we know it's this one, and its partner is probably the edge over here. Oh, I should just give you one more. And now they fit. So now they're paired up. So you have to try a few times if you're like me and not sure of what goes where. So what we have here is the OLL case, the orientation case, and everything that aligns with the center here in height, they can be considered yellow. If we consider this side white, and then the opposite side is yellow. So everything that has the same depth is the same color, so to speak. And it's really easy to see, except I'm not full OLL. So the only thing I recognize here is this case, which would be a bit similar to this one. So these are the three. I know this is yellow and this is yellow as well. But again, since I'm not full OLL, it doesn't really tell me anything. So I will just solve it by making a white move, a white front, and a sexy move, and white back, white front reversed F prime. I do the same here. Boom. And we should have a cross case. Now this cross case is obviously different, and what I can recognize here is a soon. So it could either be soon or anti-soon actually. So it's this shape. No, actually it's not. It's not. Sorry. So it's, let me just see if I can set it up. It's this one. So the only problem is I don't know if my rotation is correct. It probably is not, because when it's rotated, you can see these three are yellow outside the center, matches these three, and these three are yellow. But the way this case must be executed is to face a yellow towards you, yeah? If it's facing like this and you try to execute it, then it will not end well. It will not be all the yellow up, so you will fail. So it must be rotated like this. So you can see there's still one pointing to the bottom left and top right corner. There are two ways to do it, but this is the correct one where you have yellow here. So what you will look for is something that if flipped this way, it will turn yellow up. And this fits the bill because the depth here, if it's rotated 90 degrees along this axis, it will be the same height as the rest. If we did it like this one, if rotated this way, would just protrude upwards. So it's a different color, yeah? So we make an F prime and a wide move. We do the same here. No, we didn't. And that's because it feels, the things you have inside you have trained your fingers to do. They are different when you do it on a mirror cube. So always turn slowly, especially if you're a beginner to mirror cubes, or else you will end up like I did and mess up the algorithm. So let's try that again. We have everything yellow except those two, and that means it's an H case, and H cases are solved this way. Yeah. Let's just force. So it's this one I'm looking at now. It's an H. Yeah. So, and this can also be turned in several directions. Now, these three are the same, so it's a slightly different H case, but that just, the only thing it affects is the resulting PLL that you will get. So let's see if I can do it correctly this time. Yep, and since they're all the same height, we have yellow up. And now we look for anything that has the same depth. The same depth like these two means headlights. And this is a bar. So we have headlights, 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 and a bar. And there are actually, let me just get this to a solved state. And let's see if we can, okay, sorry. So this is a PLL case that is, if you're unsure, you can always execute a G-perm. That's fairly easy on this one. But then, oh yeah. So it's of course NA or NB, and since they are going this direction, it's NB perm. So this one must go over here, this one must go over here, and this one must go over here. So all these edges must switch places and jump this one. So that means I can execute it like this. And it's solved. So that's how you recognize the case, is from looking at if you can see bars or if you can see headlights, and if that reminds you of anything. If you're really unsure, because it can be hard to recognize without colors, but you have to always translate how it turns into different, the turning, what protrudes upwards into different colors. And the ones you can recognize easily are the, what you would call yellow and what you would call white. Of course, if you if you have done this many times, you can also recognize that the second or the shortest side on this direction is you can just say that the shortest side would be facing you, and that would be green, because that's how you usually scramble. So now, if we do like this, then we can recognize them from each other. And it would be faster, because then you have more sides to recognize your OLL and PLL on. But this is the basic of how to solve a mirror cube. I hope you learned something. And if you have questions or comments, just hit the comment section. Thank you for watching.